how I handled the situation was a bit unique and different. I was like, wow, you've said this about me with kids. You've said that I robbed you. She actually told some people, at least they've said, I can't prove this part, they said that I robbed you. I actually lent her a large amount of money and she didn't work for 2 weeks and I gave her a place to stay for 2 weeks, no rent, all this stuff. So I'm like, okay. You know, and you've said I've robbed you money and all this stuff. And, you know, it was all untrue. And I thought, I've stayed with you. We've been in bed crying every night. I've cuddled you to sleep. I've cuddled you every day. And I was going through the stuff. You know, apparently we were going to FaceTime. We were going to try and make this one. Okay. So I thought, you know what? I could send a nasty message back and say, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and this. But I didn't. Instead, what I did was I said, because she used to make lists of what people have done. She was very... One of the big arguments we actually had when I first ever was, she said, I've wrote a list of all the stuff you've done for me, and I've wrote a list of all the stuff I've done for you. And I said, right. And she goes, you've done way more for me than you, so that means I'm in debt to you. I said, no, it doesn't. And I explained to her, I said, love to me is, whether it be love of a friend, a lover, or even two guys, like we're best friends. I said, if you need my help, and I help you 100 times, not saying the big stuff, I help you, and I go, fucking hell, I'm in the down, I have a really bad day, something happens, like mum died, you know, something, and you're there for me when I need you. We're even. That's what love is, you know, it's not a thing you want. And what was really impressive and cool is I had actually got her past that. She'd stopped with the list. But when I messaged her, I gave the list, because I said, you were right, there is always a list in your head. So I gave her this massive list, and I said, do I deserve for you to tell people that I told you I like kids? And obviously then I said, because I said, and I pointed out everything I'd done, from her hospital appointments to looking after her when she was sick, to stuff I got her cheap, all the presents I bought, gifts. And it wasn't just, I thought we'd do that. Do I deserve this? And I was like, have I ever been violent towards you? The answer again is no. And I went through all the stuff that I'd done. I said, so my brain can't understand why you would say such horrible things about me. I said, I've even heard the words great thrown around stuff. And I said, you know, my world looks at this and goes, well, I'm not saying what you haven't done, even though I've seen a lot of evidence to some of it. I said, what I am saying is, obviously, instead of getting nasty, I said, obviously, you can't love me. You can't have feelings for me at all, none at all. You can't have zero respect for me. And if it's because you can't trust me, again, if I've done all these things and you don't think you can trust me, then you're never going to trust me, which is fine. You can't help it. That ain't your problem. That's my problem. But, and I used a particular guy. I said, do you remember how bad he treated you and how humiliated you are? And bad. And she goes, yeah. I said, do you think that if I was to try anything with you now, the situation should reverse? It'd be you being bad and humiliating and mistreating me. And as a man, I don't deserve that. I've done nothing wrong to you. So I just put this stuff out logically, and I said, I love you to bits, and I hope you have a successful life, but I feel there's a part of me that's starting to hate you and very strongly dislike you, and I don't want it to become that way. So I'd rather cut contact and never see you again, because I don't think you will change. And I said, I'll be honest with you, during all the time, you haven't sent me one apology, and from her, an apology would have meant everything, because I know she struggles with it. I said, I don't need reasoning. I said, even if the apology was, you know what, Chris, it's because of all this, I don't even know why. But I said, I ain't got an apology or anything to try and fix things. Instead, I just got some cruel stuff, and it keeps getting worse all the time. And I said, I think we all agree I justifiably, in this situation, I don't think I'm wrong at all. And I said, usually when there's a fault in a relationship, you can look and go, if I'm truthful, I did this, this, and this. I said, and I'm looking at this and going, I don't know what I did wrong. But yeah, so I sometimes think this is the best way to handle it. You move on, positive. You don't check the other person's socials. You block them. You have no further contact with them, because they probably won't change. But don't be happy for stuff bad to happen to them. Just be happy and move on with your own life. And eventually happiness will come. You'll find something different, and what's right for you will come. Keep the grind going. Keep the hard work going, guys and girls, and get what you deserve out of life. Don't sell yourself short. Don't stay with a guy who batters you if you're a girl. Don't stay with a girl who doesn't care about you if you're a guy. Use your brains. You know, and I know it's hard, but it's something we all have to do.